How's it going, everybody? My name's Adam. I have my friend Martin here today. I know we're a little bit tight for time, so we'll try to keep you on schedule, David. So today we're going to talk a bit about fire essentials for solar and battery energy storage systems. So again, with our background in public safety, you're going to see that as first responders, hazardous materials technicians, and also working within workplace, and Marty's background also in the construction industry, we know there's a big gap when it comes to understanding the public safety side of dealing with battery energy storage systems and solar panels. So as first responders, you can see a bit about Marty's background there as well. What I'm going to do before we get started, just for the essence of time, we do offer a lot of free training, and we do free training online when it comes to this topic. And we're doing a session in 2 weeks with a mutual friend of ours, Tom Hockett, that David had introduced me to as well. So I'm just going to pass this around. Feel free to put your name and email address if you'd like to participate, and we'll give you all the training standards required based on this presentation. When it comes to storage and solar systems, you need to understand that with those panels, there's that excessive power that we take from that sunlight, from the DC power source to an AC source that could potentially injure us as first responders. You look at all the things like inverters, controllers, battery modules, and that lithium-ion technology that is integrated into the battery energy storage systems, along with those solar panels or those photovoltaic systems, can be a risk to us. When it comes to standards and the fire service, we have what's called Section 21, Ministry of Labor Guidance Notes for the fire service. But we need more information from yourselves when it comes to how we're going to interact safely with this equipment. Marty, in your position as in the construction industry as well as a firefighter, what kind of safety issues have you seen over time?
Big, huge safety issues, energy storage systems that aren't being done by permits. So you're getting into I want to do it for cheap. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it costs a lot.
It does. It costs a lot of money, and without proper permitting, without proper safety protocols, these are the issues that we see. As you can see here, you see other standards, NFP 855, UL 9540A. These safety standards are in place. When it comes to the installation by certified professionals, how are we as first responders going to understand what those risks are until we show up on scene? We had an event a few weeks ago with an ESS in the city where we knew when the alarm went off, all the individuals that worked at that ESS were on the outside of that building. Typically, when we go to fire alarms in high rises and industrial facilities, property managers and owners and stakeholders will want to check it out for themselves and see what that alarm condition is. The risks that we're seeing with battery energy storage, although quite safe, is not being communicated properly to us as first responders to really integrate into your current technology and engineering standards. So we need more from early warning indicators, right? Ensuring the compliance with NFPA 70 electrical codes, but things like temperature increase, ventilation, and dust. If that builds up over time in these systems, and if it's not mitigated from an efficiency standpoint, from the stakeholders who put these systems together, they're going to put us at risk as well. So it's just about having that communication. That's why we're here today. When you look at solar panel fire awareness, right, the photovoltaic, we have NFPA 70 that outlines certain safety requirements for us. But how does that information get to us? With my company, Firehouse Training, we provide training for property managers, first responders, the military, Coast Guard, on a variety of hazardous materials and topics such as this. But if we don't have the relationships with individuals like yourself to find out what this information is from a technology standpoint, we do have a tough time as we respond to these calls. As I said before, we're building the plane as we fly it. The importance of the life safety features, understanding the technology, inverters, control panels, there's rapid shutdown procedures. Now, Marty and I know this from teaching across Canada and the US. But for our fellow first responders here in the province, many of them don't know about these technologies. And this is where we need your assistance. When it comes to the different isolation points and the safety, we need to open up that communication. When it comes to the safety itself, under those standards, we know there's fire resistance enclosures, there's testing when it comes to the lithium-ion batteries and what we call thermal runaway, that chemical reaction that happens. But even as first responders, we have a very difficult time even suppressing those fires. Now, Marty and I have the chance to teach different ways through our company. But when we go out to different first responders across the country, many of them don't even have any tactics because they haven't communicated with the engineers on site or that have built them. Martin, in your opinion, when it comes to dealing with some of the technology behind these systems, do you see a lot of questions from first responders on what we need to know more about the technology and how to put these fires out?
Big thing is us as first responders, we just think another hydro vault fire, which are completely different ball games.
Yeah.
Right. So it's pretty much the approach that we're doing. And then at the end of the day, it comes by we need an instruction. We need to know what are the dangers associated with it because we're not going to put our crew members in danger or in jeopardy.
When it comes to the labeling, the signage and system documentation, that's all well and good. But companies like ourselves that can integrate the technology and also working with the first responders to make sure they understand what's going on. Just to give you some food for thought, when we're working with some of the biggest battery manufacturing companies in Ontario and energy storage system companies that are calling a private manufacturer or private company like us to teach their engineers, their first responders in the area on how to suppress and mitigate these emergencies, you know there's a bit of a communication challenge there. So again, as we finish this presentation shortly, just feel free to reach out and ask those questions because we do have standards that are in place to help the local first responders and even your own health and safety staff better understand how we deal with the fires, how we deal with these hazmats. So again, the best practices, right? Right now, we know that standards are there, but when it comes to the electrical code and the fire code, we're playing catch up. With my experience traveling across Canada and the US, speaking at hazmat conferences, working with Marty and others in the construction industry, we know there's methods out there, but they're not put forth by our government and they're not legislated. So as a first responder, from a safety protocol, from promoting that collaboration for developers, installers, and safety professionals, and first responders like us, we can take the solar industry as well as the battery energy storage portfolio and help make sure that we're all on the same page moving forward when it comes to safety, but also from an engineering and design standpoint. So do keep that in mind as we hopefully can continue the conversation over lunch. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for your time.